Tech support. Question of privilege.
All right, this week's tech question. How do you stay safe on your smartphone, especially when giving it to your kids? Now, Connolly, you have kids.
I got 4 of them.
Do you
4 little rug rats.
Do you ever give them your smartphone?
Never.
Oh.
I give them my iPad, not smartphone.
Do you
Same
use,
concept, though.
Do you use restrictions on your iPad? To
I
lock it?
don't, but I should. And that's the number 1 rule that we're going to talk about. What are some ways to keep your kids safe when they're on your tablet and phone? So here's where this question came from. My wife's friend has a son that's about 9 or 10, and he got his first cell phone, first smartphone.
An
Off
iPhone?
into the little world. Got a little iPhone.
Oh, yeah.
got
Start
a
'em
little
early. You gotta start 'em
iOS.
young.
Yeah, because it works, right? That's why you get it. It works. So he got his little iPhone. The boy came home one day. Naughty pictures on the phone.
Naughty pictures on the
Naughty
phone.
pictures on the phone. The boy says, wasn't me. I gave my phone to a friend to get some naughty pictures on it. I don't know. So then she asked, what are some things I could do to prevent my son from getting naughty pictures on the phone? I said, cut the data. Cut the data.
That's a pretty extreme.
I know. All right. So what are some things you can do? Well, some pretty basic ones are to put restrictions on it, right?
Yeah.
To put age restrictions on and the iOS has tons of age restriction things you can put on it, from what they can view online to the apps they can download, things like that. And it's free. It's built into the iOS system.
Yeah. And it's actually pretty intense as I'm looking at right now.
It's a lot of menus. Right? It controls what apps they can use. It
Yeah, so
controls.
you can do all the basics. You can like turn off Safari, turn off camera, turn off FaceTime, turn off installing apps, turn off in-app purchases.
Can they turn it right back on though?
No, well, you need a passcode, and I
Okay.
think you can use a different passcode then.
Then the unlock one.
Yeah, and then you have your allowed content, so you can do all your MPAA ratings. You can turn off, you can block out explicit content from the store. You can set approved ratings for movies, and then you can go into websites, and you can limit adult content. Which
There it is. Built in.
Limit access to many adult websites automatically. That's I'm going to be honest. I didn't even know my
Didn't
phone
even
could do
know.
that.
So that's one thing. Use the built-in restrictions on your phone. Android, iOS, they both have it built in. iOS, I think, has a little more features than the Android does.
I'd say a lot more features.
Okay, anyways, no matter what iOS or OS system you're using, iOS or Android, there are built-in things you should use. So automatically turn those on. You give it to a kid, make sure you go through those settings to make sure all those things are turned on that you don't want them to see.
Yep.
Two. Lock the App Store.
Absolutely.
Kids
lock
should
the App
not
Store.
be able to download things without your permission. So lock the App Store, put a passcode. I mean, if they want to, right, they can get onto the App Store, but lock it so they can't purchase it, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can add a passcode, 4-digit passcode that is preferably different from your unlock code.
And absolutely disable in-app purchases.
And absolutely, no matter how many times they want to upgrade Angry Birds, don't let them.
Because that is a real quick way to be real poor.
And I think one of the most important things to tell to when you give the smartphone to your kid is to have that conversation about how to use a smartphone, how to be safe on the smartphone, and if you decide not to be safe on the smartphone, I'm taking it away.
Yeah.
Like, you got to have that conversation with the kid.
Mm-hmm.
And that kid has to know this smartphone stays in my hands.
Yep.
Keep it away from the friends, and it stays in your hands.
Can't be blaming those friends.
So there's just a few things that you could do to keep your kids safe when they're on a cell. I mean, I get giving your kid a cell phone, maybe not 9 or 10, but I get it, right? They're going to school. You want to know where they are. You want them to keep in touch, especially in Pullman when it starts to snow. You're wondering where the bus routes are, things like that. So I can see giving a cell phone to a kid at a young age, but you got to have that conversation with them. You got to go through all the settings, and you have to show them what they can and can't do, because this is brand new territory to them. Don't make the assumption that they know how to use a smartphone and use it correctly. Am I right?
And don't make the assumption they won't know how to get into trouble if you
'Cause
don't
they will.
lock stuff down.
They will. I mean, if you type in GOO.com, I'm sure it'll take you to a naughty website. Don't type it in. I don't know where it takes you. But I'm just saying, right? These crooks and these porn sites, they're very creative about their URLs. They take well-known companies and they flip around the letters so that if you mistype it, boom, it's there.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let your kid get there.
Mm-hmm.
Turn on the anti-porn things on your phone. And
Also,
things like that.
I think, and don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure Apple has, if you're on an Apple family and you're coded on as a kid, that you can still lock out the App Store and the kid can go in, pick an app they want to buy, and then it sends a request to you as the parent on the
cool.
account saying, hey, your kid wants to buy this, either
That's
approve
awesome.
it or deny it. And the kid can't flat out just go buy everything he sees, which is pretty cool.
Good to know. All right, so those are a few ways of keeping your kids safe. You got anything else?
Well, I have my tech tip of the day while I'm in.
Oh, God,
while
we
I'm
got a
in my
tech tip of the day. We
restrictions.
don't have a stinger for that,
I know.
so you can't do
Well,
it.
This is a quickie. For those people out there
All righty.
who have an iPhone, and there's things like podcasts and news and iBook Store and iTunes Store, those apps that you can't get rid of, you can actually just go
Right.
into your restrictions and lock those out, and it'll pull them off your home screen.
Nice.
It's a quick way.
I think everyone should do that.
it's a quick way to hide some of the ones you never use. So you can't do it for all of them, but a few of them.
All right.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, there you go.
You learned something today.
You learn something every day. Matt's tech tip.
Yeah.
And how to keep your kids safe when giving them a smartphone. All right. You got questions? Oh, I should probably roll this. Hold on. Let me look for it.
Tech support. Question of privilege.
I don't even know what question of privilege means, but I'm going to use it every time.
It probably means something we really don't.
We really don't need. All right, got a tech question. Want us to help? We'd be glad to. Simply email your questions to questions@bandwidthboys.com. If you want to join us live next Sunday on the podcast, leave your Google ID or your Gmail address, and we'll connect with you. And if you don't, we can ask a question for you. You can also connect with us on Twitter, Facebook, any way you want. Just send those questions in, and we'll be happy to answer your questions. Right?
Yep.
And you can't stump us. We got IT guy there, we got video guy here, and we got audio guy who's not here. But he's just trying to live. Stay warm.